So for this one, it's 2 to the 3/2 power. So we want to convert that to radical form. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be 2 to the 3rd, so it's whatever's on the top, to the 1/2 power times x, and then y to the 1/2 is just the square root of y. So you get something like this. Okay, we're not done yet because that's 2 to the 3rd to the 1/2 power is not in radical form. So we're going to do that right now. So 2 to the 3rd is 8. So this is going to be 8 to the 1/2 power, which is really just the square root of 8. Okay, so this is 8. This is the square root. Okay, times x times root y. Okay, the square root of 8 does have a perfect square in there, which is 4. So we do have to pull that out. So what I would do is just break down the 8, just factor it out. 2 times 4, which is really just 2 times 2 times 2, is the 8 times x times the square root of y. Square root is looking for groups of 2. There's 2 2's there, so that's just going to be a regular 2. And then this becomes the square root of 2 because there's 1 2 left over. The square root of 2 and the square root of y combine, so you have the square root of 2y, and then there's an x there, so that's the final answer. The order does not matter, so if you wrote 2x times the square root of y, that would also count. Yeah. But try to grade yourself like it's a quiz. You know, did you get an A+ on this? Did you just make a silly mistake and get a B? Did you make a big mistake and get a C? Did you just basically mess up the whole thing, but you were close on something and got a D? Or did you do nothing and get an F? Hopefully you're reflecting on your understanding of these things. Any questions on number 1? Okay. All right. 5th root of, holy cow. All right. Let's break this down. First thing I'm going to break down is the 96. So I'm actually just going to kind of break this down over here. So 96 is going to break down to 2 times 48. Okay. 48 is going to break down to 2 times 24. Okay, 24 is going to, do that color code this well, it's going to break down to, I don't know, I'm just going to do 4 and 6. And that's going to break down to, the 4 is going to break down to 2 times 2. And the 6 is going to break down to 2 times 3. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's, and we're doing the 5th root of that. So essentially you're just going to have a 2 times the 5th root of 3, because that's what's left over there. That's just this part here, though, the 5th root of 96. We still have to do the 5th root of x to the 3rd. Well, that one actually doesn't break down because there's only 3 of them, and we need 5 for it to actually break down. So we're just going to write x to the 3rd within this same 5th root. There's not 5 of them. If there's not 5 of something, like there's just one of these 3's, you have to keep it in the 5th root. But there was 5 2's, so I could pull that out, essentially. All right, y to the 15th, I'm actually going to write this as y to the 15th to the 1/5 power, because we could just multiply those out and it's super simple. Okay. The z to the 6th, well, there's 5 z's, so I'm going to just pull out the 1 z, and then you're still going to have 1/5 of, or a 5th root of z still. Okay, if you break down the z's, it's z times z times z times z times z times z. There are 5 of them since there's 6, so we're only going to have 1 left over in that root, in that radical. You don't need to put the 1 there. Doesn't matter if you do. And from here, the 15 and the 1/5, you would multiply those. So you're going to get 2. This would be y to the 3rd. And the rest of them, you're just going to combine. Oh, and I forgot the z. Sorry. Z. So we have this, the y to the 3rd, and the z. Everything else has a 5th root. So we're just going to combine those into one big 5th root. And it's going to be 3x cubed z. And that's the answer for that one. Make sure this is in your notes because you are going to do similar problems like this on the quiz and tests. Okay, you have to know how to do this.